All right, welcome back. We have the next round starting for the ACW 1v1 tournament videos here. This was Spintown versus NK. It was an interesting match, but real quick here at the start, there's two small pieces of bad news following this video or about this video. The first is we had a little issue with the time. If you look at the clock real quick, there is no hands on it because it was set to unlimited. So we had to keep a manual clock, so we weren't 100% accurate on the time, but it lasted somewhere between about 50 and 60 minutes. The other second piece of bad news is that the other match in the second round, Elite versus Clue, was unfortunately not saved. The replay didn't get saved by either of the participants, so we don't have footage for that. I have a little bit of live footage from the battle in the VC with them, and I might try and make some small clips just to let y'all know, let y'all be able to see it to some extent. But yeah, it won't have a video as such. The outcome was Clue winning very, very narrowly. Clue did win, but video may be scarce on that one. All right, we have a battle on Kernstown here. Spintown is 63 second core, and we have NK as 63 left wing. It didn't take them too long to get to this point, setting up this line battle. I think it was probably about 10, 12 minutes. They were at each other's throats. NK did manage to get some artillery up and around here. Same thing as one of the other videos. I'm not going to say he snuck them back there because Spin knows they're back there. They've already taken out one artillery piece for the Union, but they're hidden back there right now, just waiting to harass the Union rear. Those volleys are brutal. Yeah, the Union's just at a bad angle here. They're not readjusting and they're split off. Normally they have a manpower advantage, but at the moment, Confederacy is definitely stacked their entire army, or the vast majority of it at least, right here. And the Union is slow to adjust, it seems. Oh, it looks like NK may have taken out another artillery piece. Yes, he did. You know, in Spintown's defense for this battle, I will say that when this battle started, he had been uh, sleeping, I believe, and he woke up right before the match started, hopped in, and started doing this, and he was half asleep for the first half of the battle. Um, so he might not have had the best reaction time to some of these things. Oh God! Fire. The Union on the run. It does look like the Union's starting to move troops over, but they're still leaving behind a decent number, and it might already be too late. They've got mass routing going on. This whole left wing swarm is about to just come down and destroy the Union flank. NK played all of his matches really, really well throughout the tournament. Um, Same with Elite, played really, really well for all of his matches. I feel like Clue played really, really well for all of his. Um, Everyone had some great matches, but those three really played great in every game they did. Everyone else had one or two games where they had a major mess up, or they just weren't playing at their best. They weren't doing their best that day. And I think this is that day for Spin. He made a bad decision with the army split, and it's taken him far too long to adjust. He's going to lose half his army before he gathers together at a single point. This is going to be brutal. It looks... yeah. Just as a quick point, this cavalry has dismounted, but they went ahead and cleared up the last of the Union artillery that was back here in these woods. So, no more artillery support for the Union. And town has managed to regroup, form some kind of actual line. I don't know if it'll help him though with how many casualties he's taken and the lack of artillery support now though. Still has some regiments running away back here. We'll see though. Well, yeah. See, if the Union had their full strength in a shootout to start, I think Spin Town would have been okay. But at this point, I think he's just lost too many men. If you look at the balance of power, it's roughly even. And considering I would say left wing is going to be the better pure shooters here for the most part. Um, you don't want to have even numbers in that matchup. You you want to have the advantage. They're melee pushing and mass cracking the main Union line now. I think a volley or two on that one will break its will to fight. Yep. Artillery may have helped, but it's gone. That side's falling apart. Ooh. Yeah. The Union choosing to push the remaining forces up point blank is kind of sketchy. But there's also a chance Spin was kind of admitting defeat at this point. Um, there was a decent amount of time left, and yeah, he was kind of getting thrashed at this point. Melee flank. I think he's gonna walk forward, basically point blank him here. Sending these guys back desperately to try and attack the infantry line, but now they're just going to get rear charged by cavalry. All right. Looks like the Union might try and make one last little stand, but this is getting wiped up pretty neatly. Um, and while it is, I will mention uh, two things. One, the game clock is obviously unlimited on this one. If you've noticed, we did have to keep time manually. That was just an issue. We agreed on it beforehand. Um, there was minimal lag in this game, so we went with like a 70-minute IRL timer just to keep it as close to accurate as possible. I don't think I don't think we needed it. If I remember correctly, I don't think we got through most of it. That being said, we also have melee charge. Oof, got into his own back. That's gonna hurt. Unfortunately, the second match of the second round for the main bracket is not going to have an actual video as such because both of the players forgot to save a replay of it. It was an incredible match, probably probably one of the top two matches of the tournament. And we're really sad that we don't have the full replay, but I do have some live footage from the voice chat and from the game when it was actually being played. So that being said, I might put together a little something for it, but you won't see a traditional replay for it. So that's unfortunate. Um, for continuity purposes, Clue was the victor out of Clue and Elite in the second round, but just ever so barely. It came down to the absolute wire. Just given another 60 or 90 seconds, I believe Elite would have ended up pulling the victory out. It was an incredible match. I'm very sad we don't have the replay. This looks like the final Union troop that hasn't. Oh, no, we got one more over here. Got a couple little stragglers coming back. That's one route. Sure, we'll get the other one here in a moment. Yeah, there we go. All right. As you can see, it was a pretty hard win for NK. Uh, this one wasn't really all that close at any point. NK smashed into the right flank of the Union and absolutely destroyed it before the left flank could reinforce. Spin was a little slow to react. Um, like I said, I think he was half asleep during the first half of the match. At least that's what he said. He had just woken up from a nap. He was groggy and tired. Was not playing his best. So, kind of shows he did get rolled a little bit, but it happens. We all have off days. We'll see him again in the losers bracket when that starts up next video. See these lines of Union soldiers here, Confederate bodies. The trails of bodies all across the map. They fought over a good distance. And there we are. All right, as you can see, Spin did have a slight manpower advantage with 1,400 extra or 1,350, but he got absolutely slaughtered. The separating in half was able to NK was able to negate his manpower advantage by going all hard on one side and piecemealing the Union Army. Um, as for some of those stats, the DeBrell tracked down a whole bunch of stragglers there at the end, just cutting through them. I think both of them did a little bit, but some of these Florida, Alabama, Hilliard's, Alabama, of course, makes sense. Some phenomenal kills off of them. All right, that's it. We'll catch you next time. We're going to be starting the redemption bracket. I believe first up is me versus Josh, who is grass-fed boof. Hope everyone enjoys. I'll see you then. Peace.